We've all heard that comparison is the thief of joy, but why is comparison so harmful? Is it ever helpful? I'm Julie Hasson, professor, researcher, and resilience trainer, and in this video we're talking about the danger of the comparison trap. When I was growing up, I could only compare myself to people in physical proximity, like my neighbors or my classmates. I remember back in that day, feathered hair was in. You know, when the sides of your hair can flip all the way back to the back like bird wings. I'm not sure why that was the thing, but it was. And this hair was never going to do that. But my friend Deanna had this thick hair and it feathered so perfectly. One day I admitted to Deanna that I was jealous of her hair. And she said, "Are you kidding? I have brown hair. You're a blonde. I've always wanted blonde hair." I'm not sure why that memory sticks with me, but I think it was the first time I realized that maybe we all just want a little bit of what someone else has, and maybe it keeps us from appreciating what's unique and special about ourselves. And now our comparisons reach far beyond our neighborhoods. It's estimated that about 5 billion people use social media, which means we can find ourselves passively scrolling, looking at other people's successes, talents, beauty, lives, and thinking maybe we'd be a little happier if we just had what they had. The quote, "Comparison is the thief of joy," is often attributed to Theodore Roosevelt. Now, scholars disagree on that quote's origin, but psychologists agree on its accuracy. Because when we assess ourselves, when we try to see how we measure up to others, instead of experiencing joy, we can experience unhelpful emotions like judgment or jealousy. When we compare our weaknesses to someone else's strengths, it's easy to feel discouraged. We can feel less than and like we just don't measure up. And it can keep us from appreciating what's great about ourselves. I saw this firsthand a while ago when I was having dinner with my teacher friend, Kate. My neighbor Becky walked in and I realized that Kate and Becky knew each other too. They knew each other from yoga class. And when Becky walked away, Kate said, "Oh, I envy her. I watch her in yoga and she's so full of peace and zen, and I just want a little bit of that peace in my life." I said, "Are you kidding, Kate? She's my neighbor. She's the least peaceful person on the block. She's constantly yelling at kids to get out of her yard, fussing at neighbors when they don't bring their trash can up in time." I didn't know what Kate was talking about, but I realized Kate only sees Becky in yoga. She looks peaceful and serene in yoga. I only see her in the neighborhood, where she's not peaceful at all. We each had an idea about Becky's life based on the small sliver that we each saw. Understanding that we're only seeing a small piece of someone else's life is helpful, but so is asking ourselves if we even really want what we think we're coveting in someone else's life. When we see these beautiful bulletin boards in teachers' classrooms or these grand classroom transformations, and maybe we feel a little less than as teachers because we're not doing those kinds of decorations or room transformations. But I can tell you, after a decade of research on teacher impact, students don't care about that. Do you really care about that? Do you really care what your bulletin board looks like or your classroom looks like? It's important to know. Now, if it brings you joy, by all means, do the bulletin board, do the classroom, but don't do it because you see someone else doing it and because it makes you feel bad about yourself or because you think that's what you're supposed to be doing. I was a mom of 2 teenagers when I discovered Pinterest, and I remember scrolling through pictures of people's beautifully organized homes. Now, my home was never perfectly organized, and I was never making these elaborate desserts like the moms on Pinterest. And I let it make me feel like I was less than as a mom, like I wasn't giving my kids what they needed. But looking back, I know my kids didn't really care whether the kitchen was organized or the desserts were fabulous. What they wanted was me, my time and attention, my nurturing. And if I think back on that time, those things really didn't matter to me either. Spending that time scrolling just made me think that's what I was supposed to be. So whether it's a beautifully decorated classroom, a super organized kitchen, homemade cupcakes or a bikini body, ask yourself, do I really want those things? And if the answer is yes, if you really do, then let the comparison be aspirational. Let it inspire you, because when you see someone else doing the thing that you really want, that means it's a possibility for you too. And you can do a little bit of investigating, find out how they got there, see if it helps you decide what you need to do on your own journey to get where you want to be. Because the truth is, we're all on our own journeys. Everybody's path looks different, but if you understand the steps someone else took to get what you want, then you can better understand the steps that you're going to need to take to get there too. The truth is, we all show the world a curated version of our lives. I've been married to the same amazing partner for 33 years. And I posted something on Valentine's Day about all of the Valentine's days we've been privileged to spend together. And a young woman commented something about relationship goals. And I private messaged her to say, listen, 33 years of marriage is a great accomplishment. And it hasn't been an easy one. But what I don't show you on social media is the way he chews his cereal, and it drives me crazy. And I know when I leave my clothes on the floor, that drives him crazy too. We don't show you those parts of our lives because people tend to show you the highlight reel, and you have to know that there's always more than what you see. Sometimes when we're comparing ourselves to others, it's because we're not feeling good about ourselves and we're trying to make ourselves feel better. When we compare someone else's weaknesses to our strengths, that can make us feel a little judgmental. And judgmental is never a helpful emotion. It's a heavy emotion to carry, and the more we judge others, the more we tend to be critical of ourselves. In the long run, it really doesn't help us feel better. In the long run, judgment makes us feel worse. I know I'm a better person, I'm certainly a better educator, when I assume that everybody's just doing the best they can, that everybody has their own strengths, and everybody has their own challenges. So if you find yourself stuck in the comparison trap and it's not helping, just stop. Stop scrolling, stop comparing. Instead, be mindful of where you are. Cultivate gratitude for the great things in your life. Cultivate some appreciation for the things that are special about you. And be grateful and appreciative of both your wins and your struggles. It's the struggles that make you stronger. And the struggles are often the path toward becoming the person you really want to be. Perhaps the best way to get out of the comparison trap and push aside jealousy and judgment is to take the focus off you and instead focus on helping someone else. Is there a student who needs your support? Is there a colleague you can lift up? Is there a neighbor or a friend who could benefit from some of your time and care? Taking the focus off you and instead focusing on helping others is a great way to get out of the comparison trap and to feel a little better. I hope this video helped you reflect on some habits that may not be helpful. If comparisons are making you feel bad, stop scrolling, stop comparing. Or if you can leverage comparison to inspire you, to help you aspire to reach a goal, to help you see a path to getting there, absolutely use it like that. But in any case, reflect on what really brings you joy. Help others, stay present in the moment so that you can stay longer, grow stronger, and keep making ripples.